I believe we are at 10:02, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. General Counsel, is there a quorum? Perfect. I'll ask you to bear with me while I do some reading here to make sure that we are in compliance. So I am calling to order the July 2025 meeting of the IHCDA Board of Directors. We are meeting pursuant to this board's policy for participation by members of the IHCDA Board of Directors in board meetings by simultaneous electronic communication. This means that only 3 members must be physically present at the site of the meeting, and the remaining members may call in. There will be an audio feed for the general public so that members of the public can listen to the meeting, and there will be a link to the video recording posted to IHCDA's website next month. At the time the motions are being made, each board member that makes a motion must state his or her first and last name for the record. Votes will then be tallied by roll call. I will now take a roll call of the board members to confirm members who are present and their location. Start with Mark Pasquarello, designee for the State Public Finance Director, Dan Hughey. I am present in the room. Greg Pauls, not present. Jacob Blaisdell.
Here.
Chad Greiwe, not present. Andy Place Sr.
Here, remote.
Thank you, Andy. Michael Schottmeyer. And Tom McGowan.
Present in the room.
Thank you. The first order of business will be the approval of the June 26, 2025 board minutes. I assume that we have had everyone had a chance to read it, so I'll entertain any thoughts or any questions or comments. In my microphone. So any questions or comments? Hearing and seeing none, may I have a motion to approve?
Tom McGowan, motion to approve.
I have a first. Can I get a second? I have a first and a second, and therefore we'll do the roll call. So we'll start with Greg Paul's not here, so Jacob Blaisdell.
Yes.
Andy Place Sr. Is he frozen?
He's for. He
He raised his hand. Okay, we'll take that as a yes. Michael Schottmeyer. Tom McGowan.
Yes.
Mark Pasquarello votes yes. Passes unanimously with no dissent. So then we will now go to our second portion of the board meeting, the real estate. Please welcome Andrea Lynch, who will present the additional CHDO Operating Fund, La Casa of Goshen Incorporated memo.
Good morning, board members. My name is Andrea Lynch, and I'm the Home and Housing Trust Fund Manager. Today, I'm here to request additional CHDO operating funding for La Casa of Goshen Incorporated. I'll begin with some background information on the funding type requested. The Home Investment Partnership Program, known as HOME, provides funding for the construction and/or rehabilitation of affordable housing for low and moderate income residents. It can also be used for capacity building activities for community housing development organizations known as CHDOs. CHDOs may apply for funding known as CHDO Operating Supplement in conjunction with an approved home activity. They can be used to cover costs of the operation of the organization, including salaries, benefits, trading, insurance, etc. A CHDO may only receive initial operating supplement funds in the amount not to exceed $50,000 per project and $75,000 total within one program year. CHDOs are eligible to apply for a second award of operating supplement for a project that received an operating supplement at the time of initial funding of their approved home activity. This is the type of award we'll be recommending today. CHDOs may apply for the second award of operating support in the amount up to $25,000 if they met the following requirements. They began construction within the first 12 months of the executed home award agreement. They have drawn a minimum of 25% of the home award, and they have drawn 100% of the original CHDO operating supplement. IHCDA Real Estate Department accepts requests for additional CHDO operating supplement funds on a rolling basis until funds set aside for CHDO activities have been expended. Staff reviews each request to ensure the proposed costs are eligible under home regulations and that the organization has met the aforementioned criteria. Getting to the particulars of this request, La Casa of Goshen Incorporated is requesting additional operating support, with the entire award going toward insurance costs. They were initially awarded Choto operating supplement funds of $50,000 in conjunction with the 2023 Home Innovation Routes home buyer new construction activity. IHCDA staff has verified that the construction began within 12 months of the award execution. A minimum of 25% of those home funds have been drawn, and 100% of the initial Choto operating funds have been expended. Finding that La Casa's request meets all program requirements, IHCDA staff recommends this applicant receives additional Choto operating supplement funding as listed in Table A. That is, that staff recommends the approval of additional home Choto operating supplement funds in the form of a grant not to exceed $25,000 to La Casa of Goshen Incorporated. And pause here for questions.
Board, any questions?
Just one quick one. Identify it. Operating. And said.
Yes, so it would be operational support. The extension
Through their
period,
period.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking. Thank you.
right? And those are year.
Okay.
Any additional questions or comment? Testing. Is this working better? Perfect. Any additional questions, comments? Hearing, seeing none. Andrea, ready for your resolution?
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve additional home Choto operating supplement funds in the form of a grant not to exceed $25,000 to La Casa of Goshen Incorporated as recommended by staff.
Thank you. Board, we have a resolution before us. I'll entertain a motion. State name. I have a first. Can I get a second?
Second, Jacob Blaisdell.
I have a first and a second. We'll now go through roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Sr.,
And there he goes.
we'll take that as a yes. We'll go then with Mike Schottmeyer,
Yes.
Tom McGowan,
Yes.
Mark Pasquarello votes yes, passes unanimously, no dissent. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. We are now going to welcome Zach Gross, who will present the Second Chance Act Pay for Success Program Award Recommendation Memo. Welcome, Zach.
Thank you. Good morning, board.
Morning.
So back in 2022, IHCDA worked with the Indiana Department of Correction, the City of Indianapolis, the Marion County Reentry Coalition, and the Edna Martin Christian Center to apply for the Second Chance Act Pay for Success program through the Department of Justice, specifically the Bureau of Justice Assistance. We were lucky enough to receive an award of $1 million through that to provide permanent supportive housing to individuals exiting incarceration into the zip codes that Department of Correction had identified as the zip codes with the highest rates of recidivism in the state. Those are all located on the east side of Indianapolis, and they're all contiguous zip codes, so it makes for a good service area. So these are target areas that IDOC had identified as areas that they want to target for additional services to reduce the rate of recidivism in those areas. We involve those other partners because they're the experts in the reentry field. So I want to thank them for their involvement in them their dedication to helping us, get this approved and awarded these funds. The program then, we applied with Edna Martin Christian Center as the proposed subrecipient. So that's who we're proposing to awards funds to today. And then they will provide supportive services to individuals who are being referred into this program who have a history of substance use, who are at risk of homelessness because they lack stable housing and are exiting on parole into one of those target zip codes. We also, Edna Martin is going to be providing the supportive services for this program. The housing subsidy is coming from a home TBRA award, which you've already approved. So as part of receiving this funding, we had to identify our performance-based contracting metrics because this is a pay-for-success program. So their level of reimbursement will depend on their ability to meet certain benchmarks and outcomes. So in the key performance indicators, you can see what those are. So we have rate of recidivism, housing stability, participant income level, percent of clients who are engaged in services, and percent of clients participating in a social or community activity. And also attached as Exhibit 1, there's a map of those zip codes I forgot to mention. So you can see where those are in the city. And I think with that, I will pause for questions.
Board, do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah, just one comment. When we were working on the governor's task force, homelessness, Department of Corrections was a big part of it because obviously you're released, it's far more challenging than I think any of us would understand. But my only question is the million's awesome, but the question is what is the requirement then for the Martin Christian Center to actually take these individuals? I understand that, there's financial incentives for them to do it, but is there any requirement? Because I know we talked about the concept that how do you then incentivize people, and it's through these dollars, but is there any requirement that they have to take X amount, or how does that work?
Yeah, so they'll be referred, people will be referred directly from IDOC. So the way it's going to work is that they'll have, DOC has reentry planning like embedded into all their facilities already.
So it's actually embedded almost as a requirement.
That's so essentially what happens is they'll have an application form that they'll fill out. And then people who are identified as eligible, they meet those criteria. DOC will send those forms over to Edna Martin, and that's their kind of eligible applicant pool that they can pull from. So they can only serve those people that are being referred in from DOC.
Okay. But the simple question is then they would have to take them once they're referred?
If they qualify.
If they qualify. Okay. That was what I was trying to understand. So it sounds like this $1 million we won't have a problem getting it out the door. That was ultimately.
Yeah, I don't think so at all.
I hope it can get used as effectively as possible.
Yeah, I think it won't be a problem. And we also have some backup plans identified that have been approved as well. So if there's not enough people who are exiting, because the criteria are a little, it's a little specific that they have to have a substance use disorder, history of substance use. They have to be exiting on parole. So there's some kind of specific criteria there. Yeah. So if there's not enough identified that have those things, we have some backups we can go to as well that are already approved, like people exiting on probation and other populations.
Awesome. You answered it well. Thanks.
Have we worked with a similar program before and dealt with this pay for success criteria that's being imposed by the Fed?
Not to my knowledge.
What do we expect from that criteria? Do we think DOC think they can succeed, or do we think that of this roughly 900,000 that some of it we may not receive because we don't meet that criteria?
So we are the ones imposing the performance-based criteria. It's a requirement of the program that we do that, but we will be in control of how that money gets spent. So Edna Martin Christian Center, they're going to get reimbursed based on their ability to meet those metrics. If down the road we have unused funds because they were unable to meet some of those metrics, we can request a budget amendment to use those funds for another purpose.
Okay, So we will grade the criteria, not the Fed.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the top? Is it the 5 or 6 items you've listed, the recidivism?
Yes, those are our
Those are the
outcomes.
criteria?
Yeah. And those will be evaluated quarterly.
Real criteria. too.
That's real criteria.
Maybe a new guy question, but how are the metrics tracked? Are they self-reported?
So some of them are going to be somewhat so most of them are going to be reported through either DOC collecting that data and supplying it to us. So that's how we're going to track recidivism, potentially income. We might have a few sources that we can look at there. And then our homeless management information system will be used as well. So then that's how we can evaluate housing stability. Income should be calculated there as well. And then service engagement and the community social activity piece, that's probably going to be a little bit more of a self-report because we want to get to individuals' ability to kind of be set up for success long-term in the community by just having like friends, family that they're involved in or volunteering work, anything that they can kind of show that they're kind of engaging. And so that's probably going to be more of a survey.
Well, I hope the Second Chance Act can keep its funding. 'Cause it will absolutely help nationwide homelessness for sure. All right, thanks.
No, thank you. Any additional comments, questions? Okay, hearing none, then Zach, we are ready for your resolution.
Okay. Staff respectfully requests that the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve an award of the Second Chance Act Pay for Success funding in the amount of $863,292 to the organization set forth in Table A as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a resolution before us. I'll entertain a motion.
Tom
Andy,
McGowan
please
moves
approve.
for Andy and Tom jointly, so you can go with Andy.
Andy will be our first, and then Tom McGowan will be our second.
Yes.
And we will take roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Mike Schopmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarella votes aye. It is unanimously approved.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Please welcome Emily Castro, who will now present the bond volume 4% tax credits, Oak Knoll Renaissance memo. Welcome.
Good morning, board. My name is Emily Castro. I'm the Bond and State Tax Credit Specialist at IHCDA. Today, I'm presenting one recommendation for funding from the 2026 AB non-competitive bond round. The real estate allocation team has been accepting applications on a first-come, first-served basis in this round since April 17th. This is the first recommendation that we're bringing from this round. The applicant is requesting tax-exempt multifamily bond volume and 4% low-income housing tax credits. Oak Knoll Renaissance is the rehabilitation and preservation of a 256-unit development in Gary, Indiana, proposed by Oak Knoll Developer LLC. The total development cost is approximately $50 million, which breaks out to approximately $195,000 per unit. The property will serve individuals and families at the 60% area median income level. This application has undergone our due diligence process and meets all threshold requirements and the minimum required score. Staff is recommending the allocation of $26,024,000 in bond volume and $2,235,540 in annual LIHTC to Oak Knoll GP LLC for Oak Knoll Renaissance. And I will take any questions you have.
Board, any questions or comments? Hearing, seeing none, then Emily, we're ready for your resolution.
Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve awarding $26,024,000 in bond volume and $2,235,540 in annual LIHTC to Oak Knoll GP LLC for Oak Knoll Renaissance according to the terms of the 2026 AB application round as recommended by staff.
We have a resolution before us. I'll take a motion to approve.
Mike Schopmeyer move for approval.
I have a first. Can I get a second?
Second, Jacob Blaisdell.
For first and a second, we'll move to roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Andy?
We'll move on for a second. Mike Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Andy looks like now is off the screen. Andy, can you hear us? We'll take that as a no, but we do have
Still
enough
have
here for a
quorum.
pass. We have a quorum. We still have a pass, so it passes unanimously. Please note that Andy Place Senior did not make a vote on that. I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to welcome Samantha Spurgill, who will now present the Home Buyer Award recommendation for Du Bois Pike Warwick Economic Opportunity Committee Incorporated. That's a lot there.
Yes. Good morning, board. My name is Samantha Spurgill. I am the Chief Programs and Services Officer to IHCDA. Here first to present the Homebuyer Award recommendation for Du Bois Pike Warwick Economic Opportunity Committee Incorporated, also known as TRICAP. TRICAP applied with a partial application in December of last year. IHCDA staff has been providing technical assistance for the past 6 months, and we received a final application this past June for the construction of one 3-bedroom unit in Petersburg, Indiana. I just want to note this is our 30th award under this program we would make, and the first, not just to TRICAP, but to a community action agency in the state. So I do want to thank TRICAP for their work and effort in doing this, and am hopeful that we can continue to promote this program to community action agencies moving forward. Happy to pause and take any questions.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll be ready for your resolution.
Great, thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution, that the board approve a homebuyer award in an amount not to exceed $276,090 to Du Bois Pike Warwick Economic Opportunity Committee Incorporated as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a motion in front of us. Take a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Andy Place, motion to approve.
No, this isn't my turf.
I'll take second. Mike.
Love it. Throwing down the gauntlet. I like that. We will have Mike Schottmeyer as the first. Andy Place Senior has done a second. I will now do roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Mike Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The cost of Goshen was an.
Yeah.
Looks like you're going to stay with us here. And you'll now present the 2025 Individual Development Account Program Administrator Award Approval Memo.
Thank you. To provide some background, this program was established in 1997 under Indiana State Code. The code provides guidance on the establishment of the Individual Development Account, or IDA, which is a matched savings program designed specifically to assist low-income families in developing their personal finance skills as well as building assets. IDA is allocated to qualifying community development corporations, or CDCs, or other nonprofit community-based organizations. Those approved IDA administrators are thus charged with program administration, the training, technical assistance, and participant recruitment. Enrolled participants are required to complete financial literacy and asset-specific goal training. They do have an average of 3 years to save up to $1,500, but no more than 4 years to achieve that goal. Participants are then matched through the program at a rate of $3 for every $1 saved, with a maximum contribution of the program of $4,500. Uniquely, these funds then can be used for a variety of qualified assets, including for down payment assistance for a home, education and job training, owner-occupied repairs, a small business, or a vehicle. And looking at last year's data, the majority of our existing IDA accounts are used for down payment assistance, followed by owner-occupied repair and vehicle purchase. This year, IHCDA was allocated $550,475.60 to support IDA accounts, which equates to 104 full accounts. We opened up our application process May 29th, 2025. Applications were then due to IHCDA by June 19th. Those were scored, primarily looking at the responses to participant recruitment, program compliance, case management, the ability to offer most or all of the eligible asset purchases, and then the ability to offer financial literacy and specific education for those asset purchases, which are required under the program. And then lastly, each application was evaluated based on their service in multiple counties, so we can ensure that we have full coverage across the state and the willingness to serve counties not served by other IDA administrators. Through this application process, we received and reviewed a total of 18 applications. Today, we're recommending awarding the top scoring applications, which would be 16 of those 18 applications, which would allow us to allocate 96 of those accounts. For the additional 8 accounts that we are recommending not moving forward with today, we will make those open to those agencies that are awarded, if awarded by the board today, to utilize those unallocated accounts. There are some criteria that the team will set, though they must apply by the end of this year and have filled all their originally awarded accounts to be eligible for those 8. The list of those that we are recommending for funding are available in Table A, and the 2 that we are recommending not for funding are listed in Table B. Exhibit A also lists all of the different counties in which there is coverage. I do want to note there are 2 agencies that have identified that they can serve other areas of the state that are underserved through IDA accounts. And in our previous rounds of IDA allocation, we do actually have other accounts open in all 92 counties as well. So we do have full coverage throughout the state. So that was a lot of information very quickly, and I will pause there for questions.
Quick one. I assume you gauge the agencies by their success rates.
Correct.
What's a rough success rate on the program?
That's a great question.
North of 50%?
Um,
South of 50?
I would more than 50%. Yes. And we are looking for those that utilize probably closer to 85 to 90% of their accounts.
That's much higher.
Now, I will note that I have been over this program for 2 weeks, so I
Yes.
am learning a lot very quickly. I think there are really also great opportunities for additional key performance indicators, one of which is looking long-term through that grant to the IDA administrators and tracking the success quarterly, and really understanding how much that we are being able to match. And so I think that'll be our challenge for this time next year to be able to provide those metrics to the board.
3-to-1 ratio, you're just like, God, you got to figure it out somehow.
Right. But it is a really great program.
It is a great program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any data on the assets that are typically purchased?
We have some, and so typically the majority of our assets are the down payment assistance for first-time homes, followed by vehicle purchase, which is a newer allowance under the IDA program, and then owner-occupied repair. I do sort of based on anecdotally with conversations with IDA administrators, I do anticipate there being also more of a focus on job training or educational attainment as well.
Excellent. Any additional comments, questions? Hearing and seeing none. Happy to take your resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve awarding IDA funding in an aggregate amount not to exceed $504,000 to the applicants as set forth in Table A to administer the IDA program for the program term beginning July 1st, 2025, and then ending on June 30th, 2029, as recommended by staff.
Thank you. Board, we have a motion in front of us. I'll take a motion to approve.
Move for approval because habitat.
I knew you
was number 1.
I knew you'd say that.
So, there were a lot of Southern Indiana. We're glad to see that.
Yeah.
It's a great program.
20% Southern Indiana, that's pretty good.
More than our population.
We have a motion to approve. I'll look for a second.
Make a second.
Andy
Jacob
plays
Blaisdell.
second.
We'll have Jacob do that one. So we have a first and we have a second. So we'll go with roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Sr.,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquale votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much, Sam. And I think we're going to have you stay up here for another one.
Yes.
You will now get to present the 2025-2026 Individual Development Account Tax Credit Allocation Approval.
Yes, thank you very much. Very similarly to the last memo, this is the tax credit allocation request, also under Indiana State Code. Under that code, IHCDA is authorized to allocate no more than $200,000 in tax credits during our state fiscal year to those CDCs as defined under state code. Those tax credits are distributed by the CDCs to donors and used to offset the donor's state tax liability. Credits are worth 50% of the donor's contributions, so that $200,000 in distributed tax credits are then used to raise $400,000 in funding. That $400,000 is then utilized to develop or support additional IDA accounts. The credits are to be sold between July 1st and June 30th of next year. It should be noted that those tax credits and those accounts are held at the same match rate and amounts as they are in the regular IDA program. So this year, again, we streamlined the application process and aligned it directly with our IDA application, opening in May and then due again June 19th of this year. We received 5 applications for IDA tax credits as identified in Table A. I do want to note that we did not receive a request for the full allocation, and so our team does plan on reopening this application this September, so we can try to solicit more agencies to utilize the tax credit. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we're ready for your resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve allocating IDA tax credits in an aggregate amount not to exceed $93,225 to the applicants as set forth in Table A as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a motion on the floor. I'll take a motion to approve.
Andy Place, motion to approve.
Have a first. Can I get a second?
Tom McGowan, second.
Have a first and a second. Move to roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Yes.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Great.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much.
And we're going to move from community programs and the Sam Show to the Rich Harcourt Show in finance. So please welcome Rich Harcourt, who will present the Cambridge Square of Bloomington bond recommendations. Actually, you want to be fine. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and Board. So the first 2 presentations that I'm going to have a lot of similarities. This is request for tax exempt non-recourse issuance of debt for multifamily projects that you all as a board have already approved, and all the request for these 2 is just the ability to, the permission to be the issuer on the tax exempt, again, non-recourse debt. This is not debt that sits on our balance sheet. So we're going to start our tour of Indiana in Bloomington today with the Cambridge Square of Bloomington Apartments. You all as a board approved this in September of 24 in the 25 AB round. It's 153 units, 60% AMI. It's age restricted. It's a rehab project. Glick is the developer, and we're seeking approval of $13,138,000 issuance of tax exempted.
Thank you, Rich. Any questions, comments?
Did you say 60%?
Any additional? Hearing seen none. Rich will take the resolution.
Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the Series 2025 multifamily housing revenue bonds, parentheses, Cambridge Square of Bloomington Apartments, close parentheses, pursuant to the resolution attached hereto as Exhibit A, as recommended by staff.
Board, we have a motion on the floor. I'll take a motion to approve.
Tom
Please,
McGowan,
Ty.
move to approval.
Have a first?
Second.
Have a second.
You guys start having.
We'll move to roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. All right, Rich will now present the Hodges Commons bond recommendation.
We're going to travel up 69 to the east side of Indianapolis to Moeller Road. Hodges Commons Apartments was approved in November of 24 in the 25 CB round. It's 98 units, and it's a blend of 70, 60, and 30% AMIs. It's new construction, it's family, it's Hodges Common Limited Partnership. The request is to issue tax exempt $15,600,000 of non-recourse conduit.
Who's the developer on this one?
Hodges Common.
So that's the name of the developer,
Yeah.
not just the project. Gotcha.
Any additional questions, comments? Hearing, seeing none. Ready for a motion?
Thank you. Staff,
Or,
res-
sorry, a resolution.
staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the Series 2025 multifamily housing revenue notes, parentheses, Hodges Common Apartments, close parentheses, pursuant to the resolution attached hereto as Exhibit A and is recommended by staff.
We have a resolution before us. I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve, Jacob Blaisdell.
Have a first. Can I get a second?
Worth of 7.
Tom McGowan, second.
I have a first and a second. We'll move to roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior,
Aye.
Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Motion passes unanimously. For the last of our finance, Rich will now present the single-family mortgage revenue bonds 2025 Series C bond recommendation.
Thank you, board. So as you all are well aware, a significant portion of our business is providing down payment assistance to first-time home buyers, and we do that by issuing a combination of tax exempt and taxable indebtedness to finance the purchase of qualifying mortgage loans that are generated by our participating lenders, in which, for the most part, we provide 6% down payment assistance. This is the third request this year to issue debt. We've typically been issuing on a quarterly basis. This resolution looks materially like the other 7 or 8 resolutions that you've approved in the past. The dates and the amounts have been changed. Well, the dates have been changed. The resolution requests the ability to issue up to $250,000 of combination tax exempt taxable indebtedness. This is non-recourse to IHCDA. The debt sits in our single family bond resolution. And as typical of how we've issued in the past, we would anticipate this to be a fixed rate issue. And any deviation from that, we'll have conversations with our friends at IFA to make sure they're comfortable with it. But this, I think, will be the third of a series issue in this year. We may or may not have a fourth issue. We may wait to go into January for that issue.
Thank you, Rich. And then the only comment I'll add is Rich and his team have done a terrific job of always reaching out to the IFA to talk about these plans prior to going. That procedure continues. And so we appreciate the idea that he's reaching out to us. So obviously when it comes to it, we can verify that the health of the program is still going very strong and that we're in IFA has no issues. Any additional comments or questions for Rich? All right, Rich, then I will entertain a resolution.
Thank you. Staff respectfully requests the board approve the following resolution. Resolve that the board approve the issuance of the 2025 Series C bonds and the related bond documents and disclosure documents as substantially final in the form presented, and authorize any authorized officer to execute the same as recommended by.
Thank you, Rich. Board, we have a resolution before us. I'll take a motion.
Move for approval, Mike Schottmeyer.
Have first.
Second, Jacob Blaisdell.
I think everyone was looking at you.
Yeah, I felt it.
I have a first and a second. We'll go to roll call. Jacob Blaisdell,
Yes.
Andy Place Senior, Michael Schottmeyer,
Aye.
Tom McGowan,
Aye.
Mark Pasquarello votes aye. Passes unanimously. Since we have quorum, please reflect that Andy Place Senior is unable to make a vote due to technical difficulties, not for his unwillingness. So, all right, then we are done with the finance section. Thank you very much, Rich. We will now move to the IHCDA update, and we will welcome Chief Financial Officer Richard. No problem. Do we have any questions or comments for Richard?
The record, I'd like to say I was the recipient decades ago of what the bonds we just approved as a young, obviously much poorer person back then. So I'm always grateful. I think it's the most important program. I mention this to Rich all the time, but for the record, I think it's a very important program and maybe one of our most important.
And it's been doing terrific. Been going gangbusters, which means we're helping a lot of.
I hate the interest rate that we're probably going to endure here, but one day we'll be refinancing a whole billions of those. So.
I hope so.
Hopefully
As
we see
Tom
that in the
says.
future. Yes. So.
Yeah. maybe April of next year.
I appreciate those comments because I think, especially when we talk about all the bond volume, we make it really the people's lives who are affecting, make it, that's really what it's about. We talk about hundreds of dollars of bonds we're issuing, the individuals helping it really.
Wonders for me.
Well, then I appreciate it. At that point, is there any other business? Hearing and seeing none, then we'll go ahead and adjourn at 10:42 a.m. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.